What's up guys, it's Avery here. I'm currently sitting in my YouTube studio, which is in my house, which I am currently flipping. This is my first ever flip, although it's not a traditional one. It is a live-in flip, so I can live in here for 2 of the last 5 years before I sell it, and sell it for up to $250,000 of tax-free capital gains. And in today's video, I'm gonna go over all of the expenses that I put into the property. There's still more to come, but a lot of them have happened up to now, and wanna talk about the potential return that I'm going to get on this investment, because it's probably going to be in that 6-figure range, and I'm gonna get a lot of cool tax-free money. Before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, typically I talk about personal finance and investing in real estate, and if you wanna get involved in my monthly mentorship group that I recently started, it's pretty cool. I have 1 person signed up so far. We've talked a lot about real estate and it's been pretty fun and I really enjoy doing it, but I'd love if you sign up too. We have a Discord, we have monthly Zoom calls, you can ask me questions, we can do real estate cash flow calculations, you get my calculator involved in all of that. So if that's what you're interested, go ahead and check the description below. And also, before we get into all the expenses I've had in this particular house, make sure you hit that like button. If you guys have followed the channel before, you know that I really like Google Sheets and putting everything in there so that it's easy for me to get to. And before we go into all of these expenses, I just want to mention that I do not own this home outright. A lot of the expenses are shared between me and I. She pays some, I pay some. So she has a good stake in the property as well, which is also very cool for the both of us. So I'm just gonna go over every single expense that we've had so far upon going into the house, and actually some of the renovations that we have paid other people to do, and then some of the raw materials because I'm doing a lot of the renovations myself. Popping into that Google spreadsheet, you guys will see here that I have a number of blacked out rows. The total, gonna black it out right now so that it'll make you stick through the end of the video and actually watch it all, which helps my YouTube engagement. This one here is just delineating how much Mia spent and how much I spent on the particular item. But this is the total price right here, so we can talk about all of that. So home inspection, pretty standard. Radon test, I was new to the North Carolina area. People had talked about doing this. The realtor recommended it, so did it. Nothing came up. Wood inspection for termites, things like that, very important to do. There was nothing there. And I also did an asbestos test. This is a pretty old house. I wanted to make sure that if I was ripping anything apart, that nothing that I was doing was inhaling any asbestos. There was no asbestos on any of the surfaces that I was planning on renovating, so that was good. Did notice some carpenter bees, so had to pay a pest company to come remediate that issue. Also, one of the biggest issues in the property was there was a bunch of water sitting in the basement. Talked about the inspection for this property before. I can link that in the description below or up here, and you can check out that video. But paid $3,350, get someone to put in a French drain, which just takes all the water and puts it out to the front of the street so that it doesn't ruin the home, and it just goes into the street, which is what we want. And as soon as I moved in here, there were cockroaches and stuff like that, so pest control was high up on the list. Got my own stuff from Home Depot, as well as now have a pest control service. A lot of cockroaches. I guess that's really standard here because it's super humid. And basically, since the day I moved in, I started renovating the kitchen, completely ripped that apart. Not actually completely ripped it apart, but got rid of a lot of things, started painting the cabinets, completely fixing the countertop, wood block, butcher block there, as well as putting up a new subway tile. And a lot of the materials for this property are far more nice than some of the things that I've used before, just because we're in an extremely nice neighborhood. So every dollar that I put in here is going to be worth a lot more than a different neighborhood, because this is such a desirable area, so people are going to want to move in here. So I'm wanting to make it really nice for those people when we want to sell. So a lot of things here are pretty standard. Also went and did the bathroom, ripped that completely. Still working on it, actually. You can see I bought this stuff June 30th, so I've been working on this bathroom for almost 7 months now, and I'll get into why that is happening. But also in the kitchen there, put in a new sink, did a bunch of really small little things. You can see a lot of these are just Home Depot supplies and random little things, just stuff like that, because you're going to Home Depot almost all the time if you're doing this stuff yourself, or Lowe's, or wherever you want to go. And for the bathroom, basically redid everything. So you can see I got a bathtub here. That was crazy to get back in July. Probably still difficult to get something like it. So it's not standard size, it's less than 60 inches. So I had to go and find this specific one that was 54 inches. There were very few available, and I lucked out and I bought one of the last ones available on Amazon, or else I would have had to wait another few months. Also got a nice new faucet for the kitchen, new appliances, so that was a pretty hefty expense, $2,500, but it makes a world of difference. The dishwasher and fridge look much nicer than what I had before, just really adding a lot of value with the stainless steel. And you can see the backsplash tiles were almost $440. You could go to Home Depot and probably buy about $45 worth of average subway tiles, put them up there, but these ones are super nice. They make the space look a lot better. So I think it was worth it again for this neighborhood. It just makes a lot of sense because the people who are living here are spending a lot more money than we purchased this home for to get into homes here. So I want to make sure that we make it look nice so we can sell it for top dollar. So some other things, just random plumbing supplies, whatnot. This is probably not that interesting to you, but this expense right here that I'm going to point out is the largest expense that I have had on this property and will probably be the largest expense that I do have on this property. $12,184 for 14 windows. I was planning on maybe just changing out the one window in the bathroom because that window had cracks in it, as well as actually a bunch of other windows in the entire property had cracks in them. They just weren't looking very good and they're super old. They were original 1927 windows. So pretty much it felt like they were open. So the cold air pretty much just came right in, or the hot air in the summer came right in. So figured that maybe it was a good idea to actually just replace them all. So recently I got only 12 of the 14 windows replaced because 2 of them were missing. Still am gonna have to get the next 2 finished, but I'm very happy that the bathroom window has finally been replaced, and that's why I'm still renovating that bathroom. Basically had to be put on hold for 3, 4, 5 months to get that window before I could actually tile around the bathtub. So that's why I waited for that. And this right here is, well, you'll see at the end because I'm making you wait, how much of a large expense it is compared to how much money I've actually spent. So we keep going, just simple bathroom expenses, random rough materials, tile, mortar, grout, whatever, stuff like that, paint. And also I have here, once I was done a lot of that stuff in the bathroom, decided to paint the whole exterior of the property, and I really didn't want to do it, so I went and got quotes. It was around $5,500 for an average quote. I had 3 people come out. That was a little bit too much. I didn't want to spend that much money, so I sucked it up, decided to buy the ladder, paint sprayer, as well as the paint. So all in, that was around $1,000, $1,250 for all that stuff, and mainly because I had to buy a ladder as well as the paint sprayer. So those are more expensive things, but now I have those things for future projects. And also, like I said, going with more expensive stuff in this property. So this bathroom vanity, which is super nice, absolutely love it, allows you to see under it because it's floating and see more of the tile, and it makes the bathroom just look a lot bigger. $550, but I think it's definitely worth it. Again, trying to make this place seem very, very nice. And really since then, just had some other small fixes and things that I've been paying for, some light fixtures, putting in new door hinges because we had those really old original ones on the doors, just so that they're a lot nicer and newer looking. Also make sure that I get the furnace serviced every single year. I think that's really important. So you want to make sure before you get into the winter season that your heat is working, or before you're getting into the hot summer season that your air conditioning is working, because it's really uncomfortable when it's the winter and you don't have heat, or when it's the summer and you don't have that cool air. And also smaller things, had to change the outside hose spigot, put in some new light fixtures outside, had absolutely no light outside whatsoever, so wanted to make sure that we added some, you know, just little things here and there. And then one thing that I want to point out, this is another maintenance one, was this fireplace cleaning. So we have a cool fireplace, a gas fireplace, and I wanted to make sure that the chimney was cleaned out before we started using it. That's something that you definitely want to do, because if you turn it on and all of the exhaust is blocked, then a lot of that exhaust is going to come back into the house. You're going to be breathing in potential carbon monoxide. Do not want that stuff. So I was looking for chimney sweep companies. One came in. The guy maybe spent 5 minutes actually doing work and an hour and a half talking to me, which was fine, but it was a lot of nothing for $207. He basically took a drill, had a really, really long drill bit. It went like 30 feet. And it was like a mop, but on the end of a drill, and it kind of just spun around and got some of the soot out of the chimney. He said it was pretty much as clean as it could have been, so Paid $270 for what felt like nothing. It was probably the biggest waste of money ever, but at least I know it's clean, and now I could potentially do that little job myself if I wanted to. So after all of those expenses, which there have been a pretty decent amount, and the largest coming from the windows, but I absolutely love the windows, black exterior, nice new white trim. The new paint on the house looks amazing. It was a yellow house before, but now I love the gray, and the whole look is just coming together so nicely. The new bathroom is amazing, and it will be amazing once it's completed. And some other projects that I'm still gonna do is the other master bathroom. Right now it has hardwood floors, planning on putting tile over top of that, as well as changing out the shower area to make it actually have tile and just look a little bit more sleek. But that's probably gonna be a majority of it, and some more exterior stuff. Right now there's these large stairs that I'll put up on camera here that are just big and bulky, and I noticed there was a nice brick staircase underneath, so I'm going to take off those wood stairs and refinish that nice brick staircase so it just looks a lot simpler and nicer. But the absolute total here for the property, when I get rid of the fill, $30,301. So you can see that $12,000 that I spent on windows was a hefty majority of it. And probably if I was paying someone else to do everything, basically painting the whole house, renovating the kitchen, doing all these light fixtures, all these other little fixes, painting the entire outside of the house, both bathrooms, probably would have been somewhere in the $75,000 to $80,000 range. So saving a lot of money on doing some of the things myself, and doing some things yourself can be good when you don't necessarily have the capital, but obviously if you want to scale up and get better investing in real estate, you're going to want to start outsourcing things. But I live in this house, doing renovations is kind of like a hobby for me, so I find it kind of fun, and I don't mind doing it whatsoever. But in total with this property, so after doing the next bathrooms and some more renovations, I'll probably be in on about, say, $40,000, $45,000. I spent $345,000 was the purchase price. So $345 plus 45 is $390,000. Actually a house 2 doors away that was uglier than this one, smaller, had one less bathroom, sold for $410,000 a couple months ago. And so again, this house was already nicer than that one. That one sold for $410,000, same square footage, good comp. And now I've done all of these renovations. So I think if I sold this today, after having finished the bathroom and the next bathroom and all of the renovations that I've done, could probably sell this for over $500,000. So in a few years, as long as the market continues to go up and this stays a desirable neighborhood, can probably sell it for a pretty good chunk of change. And I feel strongly about this area staying desirable and being a good neighborhood because Apple, Google, and a bunch of other tech companies are moving to this area, and they are increasing the median salary in the area, which means people will have more money. And the people who come in and have more money want to live in the desirable neighborhoods, making the desirable neighborhoods more desirable, more expensive, which only helps my pocket. So hopefully you guys like that video. I haven't talked too much about this property that I'm living in, but I think it will make me quite a bit of money and tax-free gains that I'll be able to put into other properties. I also plan on taking a home equity line of credit out of this property and use it to purchase other real estate and other investments. So it's going to be a really good nest egg for me, as well as I plan to take this detached garage here and turn it into an Airbnb, but more on that later, and that'll be a much bigger project. So if you guys are interested in learning more about investing in real estate, don't forget to download my free ebook. And if you like me here, don't forget to check me out on TikTok as well as Instagram. I'm becoming TikTok famous, kind of, but having fun with it. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and tap that notification bell so you don't miss out on any tips for investing in real estate and things you can do with your money in order to build your wealth. So thanks again for watching, and more money is coming your way.